Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakakadash. Double to the apostles, now just great millstone rule well, and Shalom to the brothers in the work, sharing truth. Got this article in the mail. A third of Russians back Putin nuking Ukraine, which, you kind of read it. It seems kind of wild. It seems kind of out there for if you were to mention this, if this was to be mentioned a few years ago, it would be it would be surprising. But that in reality, you've kind of had all these different events, especially when it comes to conflict, escalating, building steam over time, and as well as like people have got more the mindset of how people kind of look at these things has been shifting over time to where a full-scale conflict is all people are thinking about. You've had the push, well, I say the push, it's kind of been mentioned more and more in the UK, the what's it called, not just the UK and US, sorry, about a draft or conscription is something a few other countries in Europe are already doing, especially the ones that touch on where Russia is. Like Sweden, I know they've had it for a minute, but around this, it's kind of been discussed. It was mentioned that Europe, the EU in general, should kind of be looking into it, and it's been mentioned. There's been multiple times. The UK has been mentioned as a spot that can get hit. Like it's one of the targets for Russia. So that's why you've had the conscription mentioned over here, and that war heating up. That's been in the minds of the people, and then why as well is because nuclear missiles, man, nuclear capabilities. That's something else that's in the minds of people. They're kind of looking at it like, yo, this can pop off, and it can, and it will. Because what does it say? A rising number of Russians are ready to approve of Vladimir Putin using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Some 34%, and the thing with it being used in Ukraine is that that would immediately become global. That would really just become a global nuclear conflict at the drop of a hat. But when we're dealing with prophecy, we know there's things that need to come to pass, and then that third world war that's gonna culminate in the missiles flying, that's gonna come to pass. And obviously we need like that mark. We need Hour of Temptation. These things to come to pass, and then then it's gonna hit. But now it's become a reality because obviously during the Cold War, it was basically it was a Mexican standoff where the US and their allies and Russia, well, the Soviets and their allies were essentially holding like nukes aimed at each other, like a Mexican standoff, where it's like as soon as one person shoots, then everyone's dead, mutually assured destruction. That's what they called it. But then you had the collapse of the Soviet of the Soviets, and then afterwards Russia just kind of rising up as Russia, and they deflated after that, and the danger more or less was kind of like I was past, but it's as it says in Ezekiel 38, put hooks in the jaw, and then turned his head and changed the mindset. Went from that more peaceable, uh, amicable approach back to that warring mindset, that conflict mindset. That like, okay, we're gonna that warring mindset, and that's something that's plainly observable as well. So rising number of Russians are ready to approve Vladimir Putin using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Some 34%, just over 1 in 3, would definitely or likely support use of the ultimate weapon in the conflict. This is 5% higher than 1 year ago, and the highest since Putin launched his illegal war against sovereign state Ukraine. The findings from the Levada Center show 31% are definitely against the use of weapons, while 21% are likely against it. The upward trend shows the success of Russian propagandists seeking to gain support for nuclear use. And yeah, that's the thing is as far as for its use, it comes down to Yehovah Shem Yahushai. Yehovah Shem Yahushai was the one that had the Smith, which were those scientists that came together and put these weaponries together. This that nuclear capability, that atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb, nuclear warheads and whatnot. These things were, they were built up, they were set up for a purpose, and that purpose is, the end of America, man. The demise of, Babylon the Great, which is talking about America. And, Russia's chief in it, and this is why it's coming to mind. And that war is on the wise, man. That conflict where, millions upon millions of men are gonna go up and get, into that meat grinder. So I read this, Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So yeah, as war has gone down, from ancient times, and men on horseback, men in chariots, bows, arrows, catapults, trebuchets, swords, spears. Man would have been in the thick of it. Even like World War One, you would have had artilleries as well. You had planes. You also had trench warfare. Guns, mines, these things. But then what? That burning and fuel of fire. That's gonna be the missiles, man. The missiles doing legendary work, heating up, burning, and that's gonna be the whole land. It's not just gonna be, on a localized scale. And again, like you watch Oppenheimer is obviously putting out a certain vibration. That movie getting made is putting out a certain vibration, man. It's bringing certain things to the forefront. Obviously, they're honoring that son of Esau, Oppenheimer. But then it's highlighting the magnitude of what he made, man, and how that shit just decimated Japan, man. Ammon got desecrated. And hey, that's the thing is you can have 200 million, man. You can have a suit like far exceeding amount of destruction visited upon America. So that's going to be to a whole different scale. That's why it's not even going to be, classified how the prior engagements have been. Talking to ICBMs, they got the hypersonics as well. So Putin recently ordered tactical nuclear missile drills in Russia and neighboring Belarus. He is supplied with atomic weapons. The Kremlin dictator is considering changing the country's nuclear doctrine to lower the threshold for using such weapons. Currently, he can authorize the use of tactical or battlefield nuclear weapons on the basis of a perceived threat to the Russian state from attack by conventional or nuclear weapons. Russia is staging major nuclear missile drills today as Britain ushers in a new government. So yeah, they're doing the drills, and that's the thing is these drills being done. It's not for no reason. It's to send out a vibration one and to prep. It's the same thing with China dealing with what's it called with Taiwan. They've been doing legendary amount of drills, and they're obviously looking for the time to strike. Now, if you consider with how Biden's looking hella decrepit, these guys might be looking to just swing in. But then again, you got Kamala Harris, and she's got that particular spirit on her as well when it comes to to conflict. She was a prosecutor. She was one of them raw prosecutors, man. She's got she's got that draconian spirit on her. So it's there's talk about her kind of stepping up. Very well could happen. Very well could happen. On the orders of Vladimir Putin, the Yars missile crew practiced deployment in two regions, Irkutsk and Ivanovo. A video showed a mobile launcher maneuvering along forest roads and taking up position before troops covered it in camouflage netting. Similar exercises will be held by other missile units in the near future, said the Russian Defense Military. Previous such tests were held in late June, and they also coincide with Sir Keir Starmer and his Labour government taking over the Tories in Britain. Yeah. So it's and it's not a mystery as to why they're mentioning the UK and saying like, oh, it's being done as the new UK government's coming in. It's it's all power plays. They're trying to influence. They're trying to gain what they desire, and he's Putin's had that spirit put on him, where he's really coming against the bulk of the West, which having seen seeing it come together. And we know where it's gonna go. But it's gonna be a shock. It's gonna be a surprise for those in the world, man. Because with nuclear weapons, it's something that people are really thinking like, oh, that's something they wish never gets launched, because they're just it's spoken of as it's gonna be the end as soon as they come out. But what's the what's the purpose they got put together for? Isaiah 54:16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith, to blow off the coals and the fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work." So yeah, those smiths were those scientists. They'll put together, they had inspiration put on them to put together those nuclear capabilities, man. Those atomic weapons, those hydrogen bombs, those nuclear warheads. These things were put together. They were inspired to put them together because why? They'll work that needed to be accomplished, and they were. See, during World War II, what did they get? They they got them bombs. What was it, Big Boy, Little Boy, and they dropped them. Hiroshima and Nagasaki got decimated, and that was a display. And then you have the quote, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." That's been immortalized. Because why? They're looking at it like, damn. That shit's legendary. They really do think that, they become as the Most High through these things. But then what's Scripture say? And I have created the waster to destroy. I have created the waster to destroy. It's the Most High that basically pieced together, that device being put together. Then what? The waste has been made to destroy. It's not made to sit in a silo. It's not made to chill. And that's the thing is you already have various stories of chariots, going to the spots where these things are being stored, and then messing with them, switching certain things on, and then you have the guys working there getting messed up, getting fucked up in the spirit, because they're like, damn, what's going on? These guys are thinking about aliens, the little green men. Some of them know what's inside the chariots, the so-called black men, with afros, that they're in there. But then what? They're thinking like, damn, it's fucked up. But it had been created with a purpose. Whether once the time's been set, you have the story of the Russian submarine, where there was a false signal of like a strike taking place, and they say like he could have triggered World War III, because he could have, like, he saw that, and if it was a real, he should have just let rip on the missiles, but then didn't. They said, that's something that's referred to as like, oh, that's how close it came. It's good that he thingy, but then that's something that's down to the spirit. Because, when it comes to the time for prophecies to be fulfilled, for the missiles to fly, if he thinks like, nah, I shouldn't do this, I'm not going to. And the angels, the messengers, they got jobs that they'll go and make sure it's fulfilled. When the time comes, everyone's going to make sure that work's fulfilled, man. Them wasters are going to get to do exactly what they're put together to do. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.